Dan, in the previous episode, we spoke about rooting or jailbreaking your device, and I feel that this episode is probably a follow-on to that episode. And I say this because we obviously mentioned the reasons as to why not to root your devices, and one big one was obviously your antivirus and your firewall essentially becoming useless in that regard. And I think essentially antiviruses and firewalls are, as we mentioned before, your device's digital bouncers. They are your let's say your personal security detail when you surf or shop or stream online or do anything online basically. But I think in a world of cybersecurity there can be a lot of confusion in terms of there being a lot of different terms and phrases being thrown around like antivirus or anti-malware. But Dan, we quickly explain what the difference is between those two.
Sure, is yeah. I mean, people a lot of the time throw them around interchangeably, and they're actually different. So, firstly, your viruses and malware, or malicious software, is what malware stands for. Viruses and malware, they're like sneaky pickpockets, sneaky criminals in the crowd. You don't see them coming until your wallet's gone, and then it's chaos. They will get into your system. They'll steal personal information, or they'll wreck your digital environment and devices. So they are a pain in the butt, and we want to avoid them as much as possible. But there is a difference between antiviruses and anti-malware software out there. So your antivirus, may sound like it's all about fighting viruses. Today's antivirus software, it's more like an all-in-one security ninja, right? Tackling everything from your viruses to your threats from worms, all the way to spyware. So it's very much all-encompassing across all of those sort of digital threats that are out there. And then you've got anti-malware, and that's specifically designed to combat newer, more sophisticated threats. But the truth, we need protection against both. We need both of these types of software. It's not an either-or situation. It's about layering up your defenses to protect you against all the threats, new and old. So really important to get both of those.
Cool, Dan. It's good that you mentioned that you need both. It's not an either or. But I guess the next question is about setting up your digital defenses and how would you go about doing so?
So if we're going to use the analogy of your device's security detail or your own cybersecurity detail, choosing the right antivirus, choosing the right software is really important here. So you want to go for trusted names. Some new software on the market's not going to cut it. The trusted names, some of the big names out there, and whether it's Sophos or Bitdefender or Trend Micro, and we're not committed or to any of those brands, but just a couple ideas of some of the top brands out there for this type of software. So here's a few tips for how to get your guard up as quick as possible, how to set it up and get things going. So firstly, install with care. Make sure that you're getting your software from the source, from the brand website, from the top company website, or from a reputable app store. Depending on what device you're using. Downloading from dodgy sites is basically like asking a fox to watch their hen house for you. You have no idea who's running that software and what their intent is. So it's really important to make sure that you're getting your antivirus software from the right source. Secondly, keep it updated. Set your antivirus to update automatically. This is really important. Cyber threats evolve faster than a fast thing, and you want to make sure that your software is keeping up to date. It's probably one of the most important updates that you're doing on software. Every single time that new viruses and new malware and new worms and new threats are being discovered, these security companies are updating their software to make sure that they can spot it when it gets onto your device or when it comes anywhere near your environment. So the sooner you update, the sooner that software on your device is going to be able to detect the latest threats. So really, really important to keep it updated regularly. Third, scan regularly. Schedule regular full system scans. Go through absolutely everything on your device. It's like doing a thorough house cleaning. You never know what you're going to find lurking in some forgotten corner of your digital environment. So scan regular full system scans. And then lastly, always on guard. Make sure that your antivirus is set to run in the background, always on. Yes, always. We never know how this malicious software could be introduced through, it could be through surfing the web, it could be through emails, it could be through, a messaging app, however it is. So it's really important that it is always running in the background for you, so it's able to detect threats at any time of day or night.
We've covered antiviruses, but this episode is twofold. It's antiviruses and firewalls. So let's talk a bit more about firewalls. At least for me, in my mind's eye, I always picture a literal war on fire. I think most people do, but as the name suggests. But it's more like a moat around a castle, right, Dan?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, we're always talking about in security, we talk about concentric circles of security. If one of those circles fails, then you can fall back to the next circle, to the next circle, to the next circle, making sure that it's all around your crown jewels, as such. If we're sticking with the castle analogy, so the computer's firewall is definitely like that. It's a moat around your castle, deciding who gets in and then who gets the boot, all based on the rules that you've set up on your firewall. So, a quick look on how to set up that firewall and how to get ready. So, firstly, just check your settings. Dive into your system settings, whether you're Team PC or you're a Mac person, you'll find your firewall settings there, usually under security or network settings. Secondly, enable and customize. So make sure that the firewall is enabled. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes you may have mistakenly turned it off. So double check that firewall is enabled. Then get familiar with the settings. All of this is researchable. You can Google all of it. You can go into the help documentation with your PC or Mac, and you can customize rules to fit how you use your device, whether it's for work, play, or even if it's for both. And then lastly, stay alert. Your firewall will pop up alerts if it detects something fishy. Don't ignore these alerts. Don't just fob them off. Don't just delete them immediately. Make sure if it is talking to you, if it is sending notifications, you're staying alert to it. It's like a digital guard dog barking. It's worth checking out what's up if it is making noise. If they are regular false alerts, then go back into your settings, readjust your settings, make sure that you are setting it up correctly, that you're not getting false alerts, because you really do want to pay attention when those notifications are coming through, whether it's from your antivirus software, anti-malware software, or whether it's from your firewall. If they start barking, you need to be looking for sure about what threat they've just detected. That's it, Des.
I love that, Dan. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it. And that's it for the next cyber savvy behavior. Thanks for your time, Dan. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.
Cheers, Des. Cheers, everyone.